Hey guys, Miles here. Before we get into the specifics of how to adjust color in Photoshop, I just want to cover very quickly the color theory behind Photoshop, and this will really help you when you get into the nitty-gritty. We're used to this model of color mixing that we learned in elementary school. The three primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. And red and blue make purple, red and yellow make orange, and yellow and blue make green. And that's a very handy, useful color wheel when we're painting in the real world. But Photoshop is the fake world of light and monitors, and so this color wheel is useless. No. So let's get rid of that, and let's start another color wheel. And this color wheel is what we're going to call RGB, which stands for red, green, and blue. And this is a different system. This is the system that we use when we're mixing colors in light. So red, green, and blue. And because Photoshop is blaring at you through the light of the monitor, we use this color model. So red and green in this color model make yellow. Red and blue make what's called magenta. And blue and green make what's called cyan. So we have, these are the three primary colors, and then we have the three secondary colors here. RGB is also known as additive color mixing, because if you add red, green, and blue together all in the center, you get white. And I have a little diagram here that shows how this works. So if you had a red light, a blue light, and a green light, and they all shine together, where they intersected you would get white, and where the two intersected you would get the secondary colors. And that's RGB color mixing. Now you don't have to take my word for it. If you go over here to the toolbar in Photoshop, you'll see what are called the foreground and background colors, and we're mostly concerned with the foreground color. So if I click on that swatch up here, I get this color mixing doodad where I can mix my colors. And this corresponds, I'll just cancel out of that, to over here you've got a color palette in the upper right hand corner. If you don't see this, you can go up here to Window, Color, and this is where we can mix colors. We're not going to use this too much in our color correction, but it's a good way to illustrate RGB color. So these three sliders here say RGB. We know what those mean now. So if I crank the red all the way up, we get, yeah, you guessed it, red. If we crank the green, take that down and put the green up, we get green and etc. blue. All right. So those are our primaries. But if I mix two of these together all the way, green and blue, I get cyan. So there's my cyan. If I mix red and blue all the way up, I get magenta. And then if I mix red and green all the way up and take the blue down, I get yellow. Now, you might have noticed that if I take all three of these up all the way, I get white, which, since the background's already white, I won't get into that. But that's RGB color in a nutshell. One other thing to cover before we move on to color correcting is the other type of color scheme that you'll run into when you're working with Photoshop. The first we just covered, of course, is RGB. And the other one is CMY or CMYK, as we'll see. And it's just the exact same color wheel, but with the primaries and secondary colors reversed. So I'll just write it the way we have it up here, R, M, B, C, G, Y. But instead of red, green, and blue being the primary colors, now we have C, M, and Y are the primary colors. And yellow plus magenta make red. Yellow plus cyan make green. And cyan and magenta make blue. And this is called CMYK. Oh, and then if you add these colors all together in the middle, you get black. And this is called CMYK. It's also known as subtractive. subtractive color wheel. And this is what's used. We know that RGB is used for light. So if you're dealing with a computer monitor or anything you would see on the web, CMYK is used for print. So if you're sending off a magazine ad, you would convert oftentimes from RGB to CMYK, if they'll tell you if that's what they want, then you know what that means. And the K, by the way, here stands for key or black, and it's a separate channel or a plate that gets printed with black ink, and that helps to, it's cheaper to print blacks with black, and just in practice in printing it helps to have that extra key there, even though theoretically if you mix all these together you get black. So if you come up here to the color and switch it to CMYK sliders, you'll have your 4 sliders here. I'll drop black all the way down. And so again, if we mix cyan and magenta together, we should get blue. If we mix yellow and cyan together, we should get green. Magenta, there we go. And if we mix magenta and yellow together, we should get red. And there you go. So that's the way this color, it's basically just inverted version of this, of the additive color wheel. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do some color correction.